by Garlitz, and then 264 by Joe Amato, who of course has been the pioneer in the top speed end of this sport for a couple of years now.
Here is your low qualifier and the track record holder here at Pomona Raceway. That is Larry Miner of San Jacinto, California.
His opponent is Bill Mullins from Alabama, who qualified at 263 miles an hour, up to Joe Amato's run, the quickest time seen here at the Winternationals.
And what a racing enthusiast Larry Miner is. He owns Gary Beck's car, obviously his own, Ed McCullough's funny car, even an off-road machine. Now, Bill Mullins, a many-time national event winner in the old top gas category and later on alcohol dragsters. This is his first full season as a top fuel driver, right?
Well, they're both relatively inexperienced men. Larry Miner, this is only his third season at Top Fuel. Let's go to Joe Amato after his winning run.
Well, Joe Amato just stuns everyone with low elapsed time of the day at 5:49, Joe.
Well, we knew Connie was going to be tough, and Tim Richards, he's been kind of sick all weekend, and we've been kind of just giving us a little bit of horsepower, so we didn't have to work on the car too much. And we knew Connie was going to be right there, so we stepped on it a little bit. Hopefully, everything will be good. We're going to have to run Garlitz next round. That's going to be a real race, so I hope there's some more left in the horsepower department, and we're going to have to really, try and do a good job driving, and maybe we can put them away.
How fast do you think it went? How did it feel? How fast?
It felt fast because I had a hard time stopping it here, and I ran it out the back door just to get a gauge on it. I don't know how fast the speed was, but it was fast.
Top speed of the meet, 264.
Well, that's good. That's what we were trying to get, top speed, to get them points for the Winston World Championship.
Even with an ill chief mechanic, Joe Amato is thundering today at the Winternationals.
He sure is, and will be a force to be reckoned with. But now let's go to Larry Miner and Bill Mullins as they get ready to stage. Now, Larry Miner has lane choice in this race. That is because he recorded the quicker elapsed time in the previous round of this pairing. So he has put Bill Mullins over on that far side. So far, everyone with lane choice has selected this near lane, Brock. I think it's they're just comfortable there. There doesn't appear to be any kind of an imbalance. So it's time to watch Larry Miner near lane. Bill Mullins in the far lane. It is, a tremendous supercharger explosion on Bill Mullins' car. Seldom, Brock, do you see the supercharger just clean right off the top of the motor. Usually the restraint strands will hold it on to some extent, but it's gone. A 5.52 for Larry Miner, as getting over to the side to try to keep oil out of the groove is Bill Mullins. Boy, it happened very early, too. Usually you see a blower explosion at the far end of the racetrack, Steve, and that came just a matter of a few feet off the line. Fortunately, Bill wasn't running all that fast when it happened, which perhaps contributed to it being a non-incident incident, as it were. What normally causes a blower explosion like this one is that, for whatever reason, an intake valve hangs open, the fire out of the combustion chamber sneaks right up through the manifold into the blower, and kaboom. Well, Steve, it's a graphic demonstration of the massive energy being harnessed inside these engines, as we will see the Top Fuel semifinal, Gary Ormsby versus Larry Miner, Joe Amato versus Big Daddy Don Garlitz. There's a familiar sight in drag racing, the traditional flip-top body of the famous and wild and woolly funny cars. That particular one of the most advanced vehicles in the business, Kenny Bernstein's new car. Earlier, Steve Evans had a chance to look at the aerodynamic bodywork on this vehicle. We talked a lot last season about Kenny Bernstein and his wind tunnel testing. Well, Kenny has finally been able to take all of that data and apply it to a one-of-a-kind Ford Tempo body. The first thing you notice is the car is a good deal narrower in the front. It's got less frontal area. It'll push less wind. Now, that is possible because they have extended the front portion of the body to the maximum legal 40 inches from the center of the wheel to the very front of the body. That also accomplished something else. With the extra room, they were able to move the fuel tank and the fire bottles forward for ballast, eliminating an 80-pound lead bar. Now, the next thing that is obvious on this car is that they have drastically altered the angle of the roof. Formerly, it sloped back very gradually. Now it drops off quickly, allowing the wind to get back here and work with the rear spoiler. The rear spoiler is a good deal smaller than a lot of the cars that have a regular whale tail because of this efficiency, and also because beneath there is a road racing style kind of semi-ground effects tunnel. So that tunnel working with the spoiler gives them the needed down pressure. Now, that's really about all I can tell you about this body, because that's all they will tell me. An awful lot of secrets surrounding this car, including these louvers here. They won't even discuss them. Well, you can be sure it's not for decoration, because Bernstein, one of the most serious and dedicated funny car drivers in history, Steve. And he does not have lane choice, Brock, because
In the previous round, the fella with his roof hatch open for a little air conditioning recorded a record equaling 5.66 seconds elapsed time. That is Rick Johnson driving for Roland Leon. Now, Johnson started driving this car as just a fill-in for Mike Dunn. But the chemistry was so very good between he and the car owner that all of a sudden Mike Dunn found himself out of a job. You know, now that these cars are so sealed up due to aerodynamics, the only way to get any wind in and the smoke out is to open that roof hatch. Dale Armstrong, the so talented crew chief for Kenny Bernstein, out in front guiding him back. Kenny's biggest ever racing thrill had to be last season at the Gator Nationals when he became the first funny car driver to ever top 260 miles an hour. Rick Johnson, he has always dreamed of having a quality ride. He's jumped from car to car to car, never really winning the big one. Oh, but the talent rock is immense.
Well, he certainly started to show it with the Roland Leon car, which has not had a particularly good recent history. However, over the years in funny car competition, the Hawaiian is one of the best-known names among all the funny cars.
And car owner Roland Leon Brock in the mid-60s won 2 Top Fuel titles with Don Perdome driving and the late Mike Snively. He then moved into funny cars. Butch Moss won the Winter Nationals for him, so did Larry Reyes. So he's got a pretty good track record at the Winter Nationals.
Well, let's see how his new driver, Rick Johnson, does against one of the very best in this business.
And there is Roland personally bringing the car to the starting line. We talked about all the tricks on Kenny Bernstein's car. There's plenty of them on this Dodge Daytona body in the near lane.
Well, the track is fast, the cars are muscle-bound, the drivers are great. This is a super race, Steve.
This, Brock, was the quickest side-by-side funny car race in history. 5.58 seconds, an undreamed-of number for Rick Johnson. He wins it over Kenny Bernstein. Bernstein at a 5.67, even though something went wrong just before the finish line.
Look at this race, nose to nose into the lights, but it's the Hawaiian that wins it in record speed.
Pull yourself together, young man. You are the quickest driver in history at 5:58.
What a pass. It was really a close race. Kenny was out on me there for a ways, and I had to use every button and handle I had in there to get around it.
550s, I have a hard time even saying it. Funny cars would never, ever dream to go that quick.
Well, we've learned a bunch over the winter. You know, we've been doing our homework, going out and partying and stuff. Chrysler's done a lot of aerodynamics for the body. Hawaiian Punch has helped us severely. Roland's doing a good job.
How about the speed? 263.
Fastest we've ever been by a long ways. The aerodynamics and the tune-up on the car just make it run that good.
You could pick up a lot of bonus points with these national records if you can back them up. You've already got that one backed up.
Yeah, that's a hell of a pass, I'm telling you. Yeah, I really do appreciate all this stuff. You know, the car's flying, it's the crew that's doing it. I'm just along for the ride. When they run good, anybody can drive.
And Rick Johnson should take some of the credit because he does an amazing job of wheeling this machine.
Well, there was a day, Steve, when you could just sit in them and drive them, but now there's so much that goes on inside the cockpit of one of these things that you really have to be good.
And here is one of the best, the defending champion, Al Segrini, driving Joe Paisano's beautiful AA fuel funny car. Now, Segrini won this race a year ago and a couple of years before that, so he's enjoyed great success at the Winter Nationals. His competition, Tom the Mongoose McEwen, Fountain Valley, California. McEwen was here for the first ever Winter Nationals, racing still at the Silver Anniversary event. Let's take a look a year ago at this man, Al Segrini's winning performance here at this race. It was Segrini in the green car in the far lane versus Tim Gross. The start was perfect. They were side by side. Neither driver would give an inch. Finally, Segrini's ahead and explodes into a ball of fire, forcing Gross to take evasive action. Al Segrini won the Winter Nationals, but most of the purse went into fixing the car. He was just fine.
Well, things have changed for Al Segrini over the year. He campaigned his own funny car last year. Now he's a hired gun. Picked this ride up with Joe Paisano just a week ago. It's only a one-time deal, but who knows what kind of a relationship will develop if, in fact, he can win once again at the Winter Nationals. But right now, all he has in mind is to dispose of this man, the veteran, Tom the Mongoose McEwen. Always formidable and certainly a very real factor here at the Winter Nationals.
Oh, indeed. And the more he races, the better he gets. I guess it's supposed to work that way, but some people say with a few years on you, you lose your reflexes. Well, you couldn't prove that by Tom McEwen or Connie Coletta or Big Daddy. They just get better.
Well, I think experience begins to pay off. You see that light come down, that Christmas tree work so many times, it's almost automatic. But with the speeds increasing the way they have over the last couple of years, it is interesting that they've been able to lead it all the way through. So we've got a member of the real old establishment, McEwen, going against a guy who's also been around a couple of years, Steve.
And he comes into this race with great confidence. It's been so very, very good to him. Tom McEwen will be the first to stage in that far lane. His home just about a half-hour drive from Pomona Raceway. Al Segrini come a long way from Massachusetts. Segrini in the near lane, McEwen far lane, 6,000 collective horsepower. They are off right together. Neither man with an advantage. They stay together, glued together. It is Al Segrini with the win light, and thank goodness for the electronic finish line judge. Segrini wins it by 100th of a second.
What a race. All the way, side by side. Nobody had more than a couple of inches at any point in the entire quarter mile. That's Segrini in the near lane, seemingly pulling out just a little bit right there, and that was the only advantage he enjoyed for the entire race. He wins it. Very, very close, very good race.
Well, Al, you had the horsepower and you needed it to come around McEwen.
Yeah, it shook real bad. It almost knocked me out, Steve. I got off the throttle and I almost gave up, and then I stuck it again. It cleared up and went on through. I see I was pulling on him good, so I stayed in there and come around. Thing left real good, but then it just got in a bad shape. Bad shape.
Great show by Al Segrini. I guess you could say our hats off from all the funny car enthusiasts here at Pomona. We'll be back.
No more legendary funny car in the sport of drag racing than the Blue Max. Going back years ago to the days that Harry Schmidt owned it, Richard Clark drove it, then under the leadership and guidance of Raymond Beadle to 3 world titles, and now with little John Lombardo in the seat, who has equaled the world record for the class here this week in his very first outing. So many great stories about Raymond Beadle and the Blue Max. Who can forget a few years ago when in the semifinals he blew the roof right off of the car. That didn't stop him. They cut the roof off the Kenny Bernstein's car block and laminated it on.
Sounds like a classic Beadle story. All right, let's go to this race. Ed McCullough, one of the hired guns in that formidable Larry Minor stable. Remember, he's got 2 top fuel cars and the funny car here at Pomona. Little John Lombardo won the World Finals. Steve talked to the racing legend he replaced in the Blue Max.
The pressures of business, is that why you've retired?
Yeah, that's primarily it. You know, I have the Grand National team and then a sprint car team with Sammy Swindell, and I haven't been that involved with my other racing, and I want to be, and I'm getting more and more involved with my other businesses.
Thanks for all the thrills over the years, Raymond. There's been many of them.
Thank you, Steve. Glad you're part of them.
You sure were, Evan. Told a lot of great stories about the Blue Max and Raymond Beadle over the years.
Well, I hope little John Lombardo likes flying on airplanes, because the Blue Max runs anywhere the big dollars are up, and that's almost every weekend. So, in fact, as Ed McCullough popping the hatch open for a breath of fresh air, McCullough ruled the funny car wars in the early 70s. This really only his second year back after about a 5-year retirement.
Well, he's got his hands full right now against little John Lombardo in the Blue Max, which, as you said, ran very quickly in qualifying here.
Lombardo, a very quiet guy, and the crew had a lot of influence in selecting him as the driver because they get along very well with him. Lombardo is very, very intelligent, can translate what he feels in that race car to the crew and hopefully make it run quicker and faster, as they have already proven. They're already working as a unit in their very first appearance.
Ed McCullough, a veteran, as you say, but it's interesting that the minor team has not had the kind of a success in their funny car campaign as they have with their top fuel cars.
Well, the funny car guys have always said that theirs was a different science. Maybe indeed it is. McCullough over in the far lane where little John Lombardo put him. The Blue Max had lane choice. They move in their stage, and what a light for McCullough in the far lane. Ed McCullough got the line of his life. Can Lombardo run him down? No, he cannot. Lombardo runs quicker at 573, but McCullough wins via the whole shot at 576.
What a drive. And you know, McCullough kind of took the long way around the barn. He got way over against the fence about 100 yards out, and in essence spotted John Lombardo perhaps an extra 10 feet on the racetrack. But still, a beautiful light, a classic light, wins it for Ed McCullough. A tremendous race. Couldn't have been decided by more than a few inches. As a matter of fact, that was it, maybe 6 inches. Even though Lombardo runs a lower ET, McCulloch wins it with a higher top speed.
Well, years of experience paid off for Ed the Ace McCulloch on the starting line. A 400s hole shot did it for you.
Well, I tell you, the Blue Max has been running awful tough. I mean, these guys out here are bad. We've been having a bad weekend, shooting blowers off 2 rounds. We took a little gamble there on what happened. I think performed pretty good. Made a little move out there in the middle towards the side, but you know, what can I say?
Did you see Lombardo down the racetrack?
Oh, could I see him? I mean, he pulled up probably about 3/4 of the way down. He pulled his fender out on me, and then he just sort of came back a little bit. And, you know, our new Miller cars